Yo, what's up you guys? My name is Lego Lady Gamer and welcome back here guys, finally to another video. Now I do apologize for not uploading in over a month. I've been really grinding out some World War II and I kind of forgot to upload along the way, but nevertheless guys, today I got an absolute crazy video for you all, and the gameplay that you guys are seeing in the background is my first V2 rocket in World War II. I finally managed to get it after so many tries, so many attempts, so many failures guys. I finally dropped my first ever V2 rocket and I actually got it with the M1948 or the Thompson, however you guys want to call it, and I actually got it on the map Gibraltar. So in today's video guys, I thought I'd go ahead and show you guys some beneficial tips and tricks on how to get your first V2 rocket in World War II. Now if you guys do enjoy this video, don't forget to drop a like. Also make sure you do definitely subscribe if you guys are new, and also tap that little bell icon so you guys are notified the second I upload a new video. And if you guys have any other tips and tricks that you guys want to share, make sure you leave them in the comment section down below. I'm really intrigued to see what you all have to say. But anyway guys, let's go ahead and get straight on into today's video. So first of all, let's go ahead and talk about on actually how to unlock the V2, because it's not default on everybody's account. You actually have to unlock it. So basically what you have to do is you have to prestige each division at least one time, then you unlock the V2. So you have infantry, airborne, armored, mountain, and expeditionary, and you basically have to prestige them at least one time, and then you'll actually have the V2 rocket unlocked. Now the tricky thing is a lot of people are getting confused because there's no actual indicator that shows you that you've unlocked the V2. They keep it pretty anonymous, but once you prestige every division at least one time, like I said, then you actually unlock the V2. Now you actually have the easy part out of the way. Let's go ahead and talk about the hard part, getting on a 25 gun streak without dying. I'm going to give you guys first of all a class setup, because in my opinion the class setup is basically your fundamental basis in actually getting your V2 rocket, and in return when you have a good, a strong, and a right class setup, that will definitely benefit you towards your nuclear gun streak. So let's go ahead and talk about my class setup that I was using here in this gameplay to achieve the V2 rocket. So I'll go ahead and show it up on screen right now. Let's go ahead and talk about first of all the division, because divisions are really important in this game. They're basically like your specialist, and the division that I was using is airborne, and I highly recommend when you guys are going for your first V2 to use airborne. And the reason why is because with airborne you have the suppressor attachment, and the suppressor attachment allows you to flank very easily. It keeps you stealthy and it keeps you off the minimap, which is definitely very important, because I've been using an assault rifle first of all with the infantry division, and I've been dying off a lot of nuclear streaks. I've been dying off like 20s, 23s with the bar, and it really just doesn't work out. And the main reason why is because you don't get to attach a suppressor with the weapon, and people are just outflanking me like crazy. So definitely when you're going for your first nuclear, I would definitely recommend that you have a stealthy class setup so you can use the airborne division. And let's go ahead and talk about the weapon. Of course I showed you guys that I'm using the M1948, which in my opinion is probably one of the strongest SMGs in this game. You could also use your favorite SMG like the PVSH, Type 100. There's a lot of good dominant SMGs in this game. And once you have that, let's go ahead and talk about the attachments that I'm using for my gun. I'm using two attachments. I'm using Extendamax. Now Extendamax is probably an attachment that I would definitely recommend on all of your class setups when you're going for V2s, and the reason why is because obviously it gives you more ammunition in your clip. But I find a lot of times this happens in Call of Duty. I know you guys experience this a lot, but once you kill an enemy, you're probably reloading after that and you kill that enemy, and then out of the blues like somebody just pops up and then you're screwed and you basically get shot and you're killed. So to prevent that, what I really like to do is run Extendamax so I can ensure that I win more gunfights, because in this game you always have to anticipate. You have to anticipate somebody camping in the corner. You have to anticipate somebody coming right after you killed an enemy. You can't always be sure after you kill somebody and there's nobody going to pop up and you're safe to reload. It's never really too safe to do that. So to prevent that, I really run Extendamax. Now of course next attachment I use grip. Pretty self-explanatory because this gun does have moderate to high recoil, so to reduce that I go ahead and use grip. Now let's go ahead and talk about the basic training perk. I'm using forage. This is basically like scavengers, so I can always resupply my ammunition. Honestly, I'm not really a big fan of picking up other weapons on the ground. I just really don't like doing that. So to kind of help me to just keep on continuing using my weapon with my class setup, then I just go ahead and use forage. Now I know primed is a really good basic training perk as well, because it reduces the flinch and you get to equip an additional primary attachment. But the thing is with prime, when you're actually using this class setup, which is more kind of like a stealthy kind of class setup, is really you're just going to be flanking enemies. You're not really going to be on those one-on-one gunfights where you're actually getting flinched very crazily. That's why I just kind of recommend not using prime when you're going for an SMG class setup, or stealthy class setup I should say. I would just recommend just running forage so you can go ahead and resupply your ammunition. So next off, let's go ahead and talk about Scorestreaks. Now the only Scorestreak that I was using in the gameplay is the recon aircraft, and the main reason why is because you can cycle through it very easily. Now unfortunately in this game there's no advanced UAV Scorestreak. That's why it's kind of hard to get on a 25 gun streak and kind of maintain that kill streak, because in other Call of Duties like Call of Duty Ghost, you actually had specialists that helps you towards your chem strike, or in this case your V2. In this game it's completely different. All you have really to help you out is the recon aircraft. Now of course you could add in the counter recon aircraft, but the thing is, when you're actually playing game modes like TDM, the counter recon aircraft's not really going to be much of a benefit, because really if you're on a winning team and you're actually on a good streak, most likely the enemy team is not going to be spamming UAVs. But in other game modes like domination and capture the flag, I can understand why you would use the counter recon aircraft. So I just kind of recommend just running the recon aircraft, because you can cycle through it very easily, and if you're a good player you can easily get it pretty much every minute or so, and you can always have your minimap active where enemy players are. So that's why I just recommend running the recon aircraft. Now let's go ahead and get on into the next topic, and that is game modes. What are actually the best game modes to get a V2 Rocket? In my opinion, the top 3 best game modes to get a V2 is TDM, Domination, and Capture the Flag. Now TDM and Domination are very good as well because they're filled with noobs, especially if you play early in the morning. That's where I've seen where a lot of noobs play at, especially on TDM. It's a complete noob festival, man. I mean, I was playing this on the Sunday early morning, and you guys can see, like, I just shoot somebody and they don't even shoot back, man. It's pretty ridiculous. I mean, people just suck in TDM. But Domination's also good, but the only downfall about Domination is it's only 50 points per kill, so basically you pretty much only have a couple of UAVs that actually help you towards your nuclear gun streak. So that's why I kind of recommend TDM a little bit over Domination. Now of course Capture the Flag is also very good as well, because you get extra points when you actually kill people off to the flag. So those are probably the best 3 game modes to actually get your V2 Rocket. And like I said, the best time to play is early in the morning. If you guys can, make sure you play like Saturday or Sunday morning. That's definitely the best times to play this game, because that's where a lot of the new players, the new beginner I should say, or recruit players usually like to play at that time. So that's why I just recommend playing these 3 game modes. Now let's go ahead and talk about play style. Now this is probably one of the most important factors that's going to go ahead and help you towards your nuclear streak or your V2 Rocket. So let's go ahead and talk about how should you actually play when you're going for a V2 Rocket. So in my opinion, pretty much 99% of the time you guys want to be playing on the outskirts of the map, and the reason why is because you can easily flank your enemies. You don't really want to go in the middle of the map because it's a big risk, because there's grenades constantly thrown, you get outflanked very easily. It's just annoying to go in the middle of the map, and it's definitely a big risk. That's why I definitely recommend just playing on the outskirts of the map where you can flank your enemies. And I have a strategy in this game. I like calling it ziplining. It's not really an official kind of like play style that you can go ahead and call it, but that's what I call it. Basically what it means is you go to the enemy spawns, you kill a couple people, and then you rotate to a different area, and then you kill them from their spawns from behind or from the sides, or however you want to flank your enemies. It's definitely a very good method in this game, and it definitely works out on maps like Gibraltar. You guys can see here in the gameplay, this is a perfect example where I kill a couple of people here from the beginning, and then I go ahead and rotate to a different area, and then people are trying to look for me, and then I can shoot them from the back very easily. So ziplining is definitely a very good strategy in this game. It definitely works out very well, especially if you have a silenced weapon. People are definitely going to have a harder time in actually detecting you and finding you on the minimap. Now another good thing is like maps on Gibraltar, Ardennes Forest, and Flag Towers, you can easily control their spawn area, because like I said, you can hold down multiple spawn areas. Like some maps like Good Stuff Cannon, you're kind of restrained to one area where you can hold their spawns, and really you just have so many risks that you can take. You can get sniped, you can get, you know, like there's so many things that can actually kill you. But in these maps like Gibraltar and Ardennes Forest, most of the times you have multiple areas where you can actually hold down their spawns. Now let's go ahead and talk about setting up a goal when you're actually going for your streak. Now you guys may be confused on what that actually means. So what I mean by that is when you go on a decent streak, for example, when I go on a 15 gun streak, that's my cue to kind of slow down my gameplay. I play passive, I play for my streaks, and I don't really want to necessarily say I camp, but I slow down my game, okay? I slow down, I play a bit more passive. Basically what I mean by that is you guys have to wait for the enemies to push up. Don't push up to the enemies unless there's like an exception to this, like, you know, your team is losing by a lot and the other enemy team is just really close to the 75 points and you have to rush. Then yes, you could do that. That's pretty much the worst case scenario, and that happened to me a couple of times where I actually died off my nuclear streak. I was like on a 23 gun streak with the PBSH on Ardennes Forest, and I actually ended up dying because I was just playing too passive and I played too campy, and the game ended really quickly. So that's why you really have to have a sense of risk assessment when you're doing this. You have to know when is the best time you can push up, and then when is the best time where you just sit there, not sit there, but just play passive and slow down your pace. That's what I mean by risk assessment, and that's really how you guys have to learn it yourself. You have to know how to take the necessary risks at certain scenarios. So that's what I really recommend to do, guys. Once you get on that certain streak, if you're a newbie player, like, I don't know, if you have like a below 1 KD, then of course you could say like, I start to try hard when I'm already at a 10 gun streak at a merciless medal, then yes, you can go ahead and slow down your pace. But for me, my sweet spot is always going on a 15 gun streak. Once I do that, I'm determined to get my nuclear, and I go ahead and play a bit more passive. Now, the last tip that I'm gonna give you guys, and this might sound a little bit absurd to some people, but it's just simply having fun, okay? Like anything you do in life, really, you just have to have fun with it, man. If you have a positive and an optimistic attitude, you're definitely gonna see that your game is going to improve, and you're not gonna rage quit as often. By the way, if you do start to rage quit and kind of just get angry at the game, just take a little break, man. I mean, it's always just good to go outside, do something, come back to the game, have a refreshed mind, just kind of refuel, man. That's all you guys have to do. Really, that's the best tip that I can give you guys. Just have fun while you're actually going for these V2 rockets. Don't stress it out, man. It's just really slow pace. You don't have to rush for a V2 or anything like that. Just kind of slow it down, have fun, and if you guys apply all these tips that I showed you guys in this video, then trust me, you guys are definitely going to get a V2 rocket in Call of Duty World War II. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If these tips and tricks helped you out, make sure you guys definitely drop a like on this video, subscribe if you guys are new. Like I said, leave any suggestions you guys have in the comment section down below. If you guys have any other additional tips that I didn't mention in the video, make sure you guys leave them. Anyway guys, hopefully you all have a good day, and I'll see you all next time. God bless this nation. Peace out, guys. Peace.